Carl at National RV Detroit. I'm going to show you through your Trail Runner 25 SLE. First we'll go around the outside. I'm on the door side now. You have a storage compartment here. You have power awning on it. Outside 110 power here. Of course, fold up steps. And a front pass-through compartment. Okay, you have crank manual type stabilizers. It's a 3/4 inch socket fits on there, so you can use your power drill or you can use the crank that you see right there. The drill's much easier. You get two 20-pound LP tanks full. This is your regulator here, your LP regulator. You got a deep cycle marine battery. Here we are on the off door side. That's the other outside of the pass-through compartment. This, of course, is the vent for your furnace. This is a outside shower, hot and cold water. This is the exterior of the water heater. Let me open it up for you. This one works on both gas and electric, it appears. I'll let you know inside if I change that, but it looks to be. And the switches to operate it are on the inside. Never run the water heater without water in it. That's one thing you have to always remember if you've never owned a trailer before. You may have owned one, so you might know all this. But also you have to bypass this water heater before you pump any antifreeze in the fall when you're winterizing it. So they put valves on the back of this water heater that allow you to put it in bypass mode, so when you pump antifreeze into it, you don't get any in the water heater, because if you get it in there, it leaves a really foul taste that won't go away. So you always have to bypass it when antifreeze is in the system or when you're putting it in the system. You leave it bypassed, okay? This is the vent for your range hood. There's a baffle there that you can open up and let it flap freely if you're going to run the range hood vent. If not, you just keep it shut. This is the service panel for your refrigerator. You don't really have to go in there. Okay, there's two ways to use your water. The most typical common way is city water connection. So you just hook your hose onto here, turn on the water, and the whole trailer is pressurized. Now if you go to an older state park, for example, excuse me, that has plumbing, it doesn't have plumbing on the campsite, but it has a fill station when you first come through the gate. You can fill your onboard tank. That way you'll have fresh water on the campsite even though they don't have plumbing on the campsite. So there's a pump inside that runs off of 12 volts, which will pressurize the system and pump your water for you. So you're only going to use this option if you don't have city water. 9 times out of 10 you're going to have city water, and that's what you'll use, okay? This is where your power cord comes out. It's a 30 amp cord, 25 feet long with a 30 amp plug on it. We give you an adapter so you can adapt it down to a 15 amp service so you can plug it in at home. But keep in mind you can't run the air conditioner off a 15 amp service because it draws more than 15 amps, so eventually you would pop a circuit breaker. Everything else in the trailer you can run, plug it in at home, but not the air conditioner, okay? All right, so down here I'm thinking, let me look here. Okay, here are your dump valves. You got gray and black. The small valve is always the gray valve. The large one is the toilet black valve for the black tank. Okay, the one on the right is the black valve because it's got the larger 4-inch valve. Okay, basically you're going to hook your hose onto here, your dump hose. I know it's very hard to see, I'm sorry. Your dump hose onto here, and then put it the other end in the dump station. Then you'll pull the black tank first, then you'll pull the gray tank because it's cleaner water than the black water. The black water is toilet water, the gray water is sink and shower water, so it's cleaner than the black water. So generally you'll dump the black first. Let's see here, these are the low point drains here, which is the lowest point of the plumbing. You'll open that up when you're winterizing and de-winterizing to let the last bit of water or antifreeze out, depending on what you're doing. You have a coax through for campground cable that goes to the entertainment center. Okay. which I'll show you when I get inside. We're on the back, spare tire. Trailers do not come with a jack or a lug nut wrench, so you sort of gotta get one yourself just in case. It doesn't have to be a super big jack. You could just use a little bottle jack, because you're not lifting the whole trailer. You're just basically lifting half of the axle up. So, but you still need to have one just in case. Okay. All right. Let me go inside and we'll see what we have here. Okay. You have your bedroom, obviously. This is the escape window here for emergencies. Basically, you can use it as a regular window. Let me see if my video here. I'm sorry. Okay, so if you can use it just for ventilation like that, all right. But excuse me again. If you use it as an escape window, you'll push this all the way through, obviously, and you'll pull this. You grab a hold of this knob here, which will pull the screen loose, so you can just tuck and roll right out the window if you had to. So let me just put that back. Okay, you have blinds. You're going to have storage under here, like a foot locker under the bed. Okay, the heat comes through the floor vents, so you know. Carbon monoxide detector. This is the antenna crank. This antenna goes up and down. So basically, you crank it up and down like so. And you can also rotate it by pulling down on this and spinning this dial, and you can rotate the antenna. But you got to remember to line these marks up here, these two indicators, so when you crank it down, it'll lay in the right position on the roof. Okay? You have video and power to put a TV here in the bedroom. They already have a TV bracket here for you that looks like you could swing it both ways. Wait a minute, I'm missing it here. Let me get my bearings here. There we go. Sorry about that. So you have that. This couch jackknifes flat. You just pull it from the bottom, and it back up here so you can see it. It jackknifes into a bed for you. The dining table, let me back up so you can see. You can fold up the legs and sit it down onto here on both sides, and then use the cushions to fill it in, and that turns into another bed. And then of course you have two bunks also, which gives you a lot of sleeping space, of course. Now you can mount a TV over here also. What you're seeing there with the red light on is the signal booster for the digital antenna. That should always be on when you're trying to get a good signal. You got a disc player and power and your video coming from the antenna here. You could also switch to the other coax, and that's the one that's attached to the cable coax outside I showed you. So if you got campground cable, you would just switch it from the antenna coax down to your cable coax. Okay. All right. So your refrigerator is Norcold. Let me back up so you can see it here. We're in tight spaces here, and I'm just using my phone. Okay. This works on 110 AC or on LP gas. So basically, you've got one button. You turn it on. Let me do that again where you can see it. You hold it for a second to turn it off, and then you can turn it on. And basically, it'll search for 110 AC first. If it can't find 110 AC, it'll search for LP gas second. So if you're it's called an automatic. They call it automatic because if you're using campground electricity, let's say, and you have a power outage, it'll automatically switch over to gas for you. Or you can just turn on the gas and turn it on, and it'll switch to gas, and you can pull it down the road using gas. Okay. This over here is your power converter. Basically, it converts AC down to DC power. Everything that can run on DC power in a trailer does. Some things have to be AC power, like the air conditioner, the microwave, the receptacles, things like that. So you have regular household circuit breakers here that are labeled. Then the power is converted down to 12 volt DC over here. You see you have General Motors style auto fuses there. If any of these fuses ever blow, you can actually see it glowing through this plastic here, so you'll know that you need to replace a fuse. Also, this is a battery tender, so as long as you're plugged into shore power, it will send so much energy the battery needs. If it's totally charged, it'll just trickle a couple amps. If it's low, it'll send 10 amps or whatever it needs. So it'll keep your battery charged also. Smoke detector up there, and down there is your LP gas detector. It should always be green like that. If that goes off, you go outside, you shut off your tanks, and figure out what's going on, okay? Your range, you spark to light it. So you'll just turn on the gas. I think the gas is on out there. And then you turn this sparker clockwise. Right there, you see it light. So you turn it clockwise to light it. The oven is a little different. It's more like excuse my camera work here. It's more like a water heater. It used to all work, and some still do work that way. It has a standing pilot. So back in there, I'm going to point. Back to the back is the pilot. So what you'll do is you'll turn it to pilot on. Right? You depress it like so. Then you'll take a grill lighter and you'll light the pilot light. You'll hold, after it lights, you'll hold this button in, or the knob in, excuse me, for 10-15 seconds for the thermocouple to heat up. Then you go to operating temperature, and it'll cycle like a regular oven. But when you go back to off, the pilot light will go off also. So basically you have to light it every time you use the oven. You can see this oven looks like it was hardly ever used. You see this quite a bit. It looks like brand new. Okay. All right. Your range hood, I showed you the vent on the outside. You just have fan and light. Okay, microwave works like any other microwave. Okay, your heat thermostat is right here. You put it all the way to the left and it clicks off to shut it off, and then you can set it to whatever temperature you want, but when you shut it off, you got to hear that click. Okay. The bathroom works like any other bathroom except the toilet. You have to remember that you always want chemical in the toilet. So when you first get to the campground, you're going to put the chemical right in the toilet, and then you're going to stand on the pedal here and flush it. And when you flush it, it'll just keep adding water to the tank. So you're going to add about a gallon or so of water, maybe a little more, just to get started. After that, you just use it. You don't have to add water till the next time you start off after dumping the tank. So if you dump the tank and you're going to stay at the same campground, you have to repeat that procedure. Okay. This is a GFCI. All the plugs in this trailer are wired through this GFCI. So if you're using the plug outside and with a coffee pot, for example, and it pops, you always reset it in here. This is your control panel. I told you that you can run the water heater on gas, which is right here. Just make sure there's water in it before you do that. The water pump, if you need to use it, is right here. Okay. And you can test your levels this way. Now you're showing some of the tanks have fluid in them, but we haven't dumped it yet. We're going to take it outside for you. So keep in mind, the bottom row here is empty, and they graduate up in 1/3 increments. You can see this is the fresh tank, this is the black tank, and this is the gray tank. So as they graduate up, it shows you how full it is, but we will dump that before you get here. And this is to test your battery. And it showed that it was charged, but you always want to test the battery when you're not plugged in. It gives you a better accurate reading of it. So also you've got a fan up there. You always want to use the fan after using the shower or while using the shower, so you can pull the humidity out. Okay, let's move around here. The air conditioner has knobs on it. Temperatures on this side. You don't have a heat strip in here, so there's only cooling. And then you just have the knob here like you would a window air conditioner. 2 cooling speeds and the fan speed. The fan is just the air conditioner running without the compressor. Okay. And your awning goes right here. Here's the button here. So you're going to push out, and I'll show you going a little ways here. So you can see it goes out, comes back in that way. You have lights. Let me see what else we have here. Hold on. Okay. Let me look around, see what I missed here. I think I've pretty much covered it. I mentioned to you that you can't get antifreeze into the water heater because it'll leave a really foul taste. You're going to take this panel off here. It just has number 2 square-headed screws, so you need a number 2 screwdriver or bit for your drill. Behind there will be the water heater. You'll see valves on the back. Whatever hoses or lines that the handle of the valves line up with, or parallel with, is the one that's open. Before you pump antifreeze in, you're going to have those valves parallel with the bypass line, the line that loops between the hot and the cold line. You'll see what I'm talking about when you look at it. And basically, you have to remember to always bypass it before pumping any antifreeze in. That's something you can educate yourself about if you don't already know. I'm assuming you didn't have a trailer, but I don't know that for a fact. But you can look at manufacturers' videos, YouTube videos, and talk to other campers, and you get a good idea. It's very simple. It's very basic stuff. So, okay. I guess I just want to thank you for purchasing a trailer from National RV Detroit. And if you have any questions, you can call us and we can talk you through it. Thank you very much.